Welcome back to Farm Base with Make. Now today we are in our day 26. In about a few hours from now we'll be moving to day 27 since we stocked this Ross 308 from Agrited Hatchery. Now normally for every batch of birds that I raise, there is this major thing I normally do by day 26, which is why I'm making this video today, and that thing is switching feed. Now I received a comment from one of my followers, this comment up here, that okay, if I do make use of grower feed to raise my broilers. No, the answer is no. I don't make use of grower feed to raise my broilers. Now if it were to be layers, that's when you talk of using grower at a certain stage. I think around week 8, that's when you switch to growers feed to start raising your layers. But this is not layers, this is broilers. So the two brand of feed that we normally use for them is mainly that of super starter feed, which we start the best with from day 1, and then the finisher feed, which we switch to by day 28. But this switching doesn't just take doesn't just take immediate effect. What do I mean by immediate effect? You don't just switch by that day 28 or you start giving them finisher. They will eat quite all right, but I don't use that system. The way I normally switch, I switch from day 26. This same method also helped me to switch to other brand of feed. That is, at the stage we are now, this day 26, gradually heading to day 28, I can decide to switch to another brand of professional finisher feed that I know is of good quality. Maybe, for instance, this one that we are using now, this Optima Plus, we decide to switch to Breedwell finisher. Now we don't just have to just take Breedwell finisher and then start giving them. They will eat quite all right, but the taste of what they've been eating is not going to be exactly the same taste. So it will take them some time for them to get used to the new feed. So this same system that I want to teach you today, that I normally use in every batch of birds that I raise, is what I'll be showing you now, which is the what I call the 25, 50, 75, 100% principle. What do I mean? By this day 26, we introduce 25% of the new feed to their feed. That is, we'll still maintain what they've been used to. That is the super starter feed that we've been feeding them with. We'll still maintain it, but we'll introduce the 25% of the new feed. Then by the second day, which is day 27, we introduce 50% of the new feed, and then 50% of the old feed, which is in this case 50% finisher, 50% starter. Now you can see gradually we are leaving the starter gradually. Then by day 28, yeah, by the 28, I introduced 75% of the new feed and then 25% of the old feed, so that by day 29 they move fully into the new feed or into finisher feed 100%. So that's the method I normally use. So I don't want to skip such method in this batch that I am raising, because in every batch I always repeat that method. That is the essence of me making this video. We don't make use of grower. Though in this brand there are some brand of feed that will tell you use this feed between day 1 to day 14 and then switch to another brand of feed. Though I discovered that in this Optima Plus, that is using this super starter feed for the first 2 weeks and then moving to other form of it may be starter, which is to be used from that day 14 to probably day 28 before switching to finisher feed. But when I went to where they sell the feed, they said they don't sell that type. All they sell is this super starter feed and then finisher feed. They don't have the one, maybe the one I will call the starter feed, that I was to be to use from that day 14 till day like 28, but they don't have that. So I'm still sticking to the normal way that we used to feed them. But in a situation where you have some brand that you can use to feed your bird from that day 14 to day 28 before switching to finisher feed, go ahead and use that method. Is still the same thing. But now switching this feed, you know, I've been giving this chicks some feed. Even when you look at the feeder, there are still some super starter feed in the feeder. Now the way I normally do it is this: I'll empty the feeder. If I want to introduce that finisher feed, I'll empty the feeder and then take my measurement. And then after taking my measurement, this 25% of the finisher feed mixed with the existing feed, we mix them together and then give it to them. By the next day, we do the same thing. By the third day, we do the same thing. Then by the fourth day, we'll now switch fully into finisher feed. That's how we introduce finisher feed to this bird. So that way, they don't feel, oh, this is new, they are not used to this and all of that. Though broilers are eaters, anything you give them, they will eat. Okay, now whenever I want to take that measurement, even if you don't have scale, you should be able to take your measurement using some container. Now this is the kind of container I normally use. So by the time I take this, for instance, I take one of this of the new one, I'll have to take 3 of these of the old feed by that day 26. Now by the second day, which is day 27, I take 2 of this, take 2 of the old feed and mix them together. Then by the third day, which is day 28, I take 3 of this of the finisher feed and then 1 of this of the starter feed. Then by day 29, I don't have to take any measurement again. I give 100% finisher. So that's how I take the measurement. Now it must not be this container. That's one thing you need to note. It must not be this. Whatever container you are using, you have to be sure that every time by that day 26, when you take one of that container, you need to take 3 of that container of the old feed. Where each time you take 1 container of the new feed, you take 3 container of the old feed. That is by day 26. Then by day 27, you take 2 of the new, 2 of the old. Then by day 28, 3 of the new, then 1 of the old. So that by day 29, you move fully into the finisher feed. So that's how you take your measurement. So what I will do now is to empty this this whole feed in this feeder, then take the measurement, then before mixing it with the finisher feed to give them. So this is not a new thing I'm trying to introduce, because if you've actually been following my videos for some time now that I've been raising broilers, I've talked about this switching of feed by this day 26. Remember, we are disposing by the 35. So this is where we are today, day 26, heading towards day 27. Thank you so very much. Again, if you find this video helpful, in a way to say thank you, kindly do well to hit the subscribe button. Turn on the notification icon, like, comment and share, as this will help us to grow our channel and reach a larger audience. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.